I want to jump out a window. This is just so bad. Oof. Oof. No. Oh my god. I can't get a break today. I can't. Okay, guy. Are we back? Are we back? Are we good to go? Oh my gosh. I had to do this so many times today. I went on Twitch at like 5 o'clock. And I've been trying to figure out why my computer is acting dumb for like the past hour and a half. Like, I genuinely just don't know what's going on. Oh gosh. I do not know what's going on. It's wild. Let me see. It's like... God. Why am I frozen again? Why is this my life? Oof. Oh boy. Is it? Oh god. Ugh. Please tell me I'm back. Please. Pretty please. I don't understand how it can say that it's fine. Like it says the connection's fine. And then it just goes out. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't I don't want to jinx it. Oh gosh. That was a catastrophe. I kind of want to restart the stream because that was just like so cringy. I don't know what happened. I think I'm okay now. Yes. Yeah, I agree, Jay. I think it's working now. I'm just cringing at the beginning of the video that people will see. Oh, God. Today has not been my day. I've been at this for like 2 hours. And I don't know what happened. There's definitely an issue with Twitch. I'm pretty sure it wasn't just me. Yeah. Good. I'm glad everything looks better. Although I kind of want to start the stream over because the beginning is so embarrassing for me. But, anyway. Yeah, Twitch was acting weird. I don't think it was just my computer or my camera that was the issue. I think it was also just that it was acting dumb. So, anyway, let's just pray or whatever that that it stays. I'm gonna keep checking it here and there. Oh God. Okay. So today, if you cannot tell, I am ranking the Webtoon comics that I have read so far. I have read a total of 43. Ooh. I think that's longer than my anime list. Anyway, I am going to be ranking some Webtoon, both Canvas and original. And I'm going to be honest. And that might hurt some feelings. And I'm sorry. I will try to be nice. As a storyteller myself, I will try to be nice, but yeah, I might hurt some people's feelings. So I am looking at the Webtoons from a storytelling perspective, as well as whether they finished it or not, because certain Webtoons they didn't finish. Like, they went on hiatus and then they just never finished, or they straight up said they were done when the story needed to be finished. And I have a category for that, so I won't judge those people. I will be reviewing / ranking Webtoons that I in the process of reading and or I've read. Most of them I've read enough chapters to be able to tell whether the story and the writing and everything is worth continuing or not. And whether or not, Anyway, let's just get to the ranking. I talk so much before we do stuff. If I end up editing this, I'm gonna get annoyed at myself. Alright, so we have a lot, as you can tell. So let's see. hello to everyone that is here. You are all crazy for watching everything I've ever done, but it's a compliment. Let's see. We have Debsy K, we have Jay, we have AC Bluefish. I think we have a few others, but I can't see it from this version of my chat. Jay said I'll be using this stream to find the next one I'll read. Yes, you will. Cool Boy 895 said be savage. I don't know if I'll be savage. That's a bit mean, but I'm gonna try to be analytical as I am with any story. I'm actually in the process of working on I haven't streamed in a second, if you can tell, so all my buttons, I forgot which one's which. I'm working on a video about Shadow and Bones, as well as Invincible, and giving my writer thoughts. I'm taking my channel into a new direction. After tomorrow, with the premiere of the video with me and Kevin reacting to Moxie, I'm going to be doing more writer stuff, so video essays and rants about writing and shows and things. Poems. I'm going to share my poems now that my poetry book is coming out in November, so I hope you look forward to what I have to say as a writer. A little less controversial for a bit, a little less reaction videos and more writing stuff, although there will still be a lot of ranting and raving. So, but anyway, AZ Bluefish said I have not personally read any webtoons yet, but have been thinking about jumping into some, so I'm looking forward to this from a research perspective. Yeah, I'm not gonna say my review or ranking is the end all be all, because it's not, but I mean, I feel like I have a somewhat decent objective perspective on storytelling, especially when half of my mentors are Muller and Critical Drinker and Jay Longbone and stuff. I stopped listening to certain other YouTubers after I heard their reviews of Invincible. I was like, okay, this is doing more harm than good when it comes to storytelling, so bye-bye. Anyway, so let's get on with the tier ranking. I am also doing this because I have 2 webtoons coming out, and if you follow my Instagram or my Patreon or whatever, you'll know about it. So this is a little promo. Anyway, so we have categories as per usual. I do not like using what everybody else says to use. So we have Awesome-tacular, which is pretty self-explanatory. I also stole it from Jeremy Johns. We have Binge-worthy, which usually means that it's still really good and I highly recommend it, but it's not like the best of the best. You have my attention, which means that I am seeing flaws, but you have my attention and I'm willing to continue to stay with this. We have Waiting for My Regulars, which is not the worst category to be in, because the fact that I'm still willing to read it says that I have at least a bit of interest still left. We have Might Unsubscribe, which is pretty bad. Yeah. And then we have Wasn't Finished, which that's the one I was talking about, where like they went on hiatus and then they never came back, or they stopped the story and they knew that that wasn't a good conclusion, but they got, I guess, tired of their own story, which is understandable. Let's see. Jay said currently drawing my own webtoon while watching this. Yes, I will be ranking yours as well, Jay. AZ Bluefish said there's so many. I need help prioritizing. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna help. I'm hoping to turn this into a video maybe for my channel at some point, so I'm gonna try not to tell you the plot of everything. I'll just give you a either I'll say what the category is, or I'll reference a movie or show or something and say it's like this and then move on, because if I spend too much time, editor me is going to be very, very pissed off at myself. So I have my list, my very scrappy list that I jotted down. So we'll start with Lore Olympus. It is, I think I've talked about this one before in my other Webtoons video. It's Greek mythology, but different, and it's very good. It's very good, and I would say so far, it is awesome-tacular in its writing and how it deals with certain issues of sexual assault or assault and things like that, and the overriding just is beautiful. As much as I say I'm not a fan of romance, I like romances that are well written, and I think Lore Olympus is well written and shows what healthy romance should look like as well. Next is I'm the Grim Reaper. I think I just recently did a fast pass, and I kind of just want to throw something at the writer and artist Grave Weaver, because this is so good. So far, the writing is also awesome-tacular, because I don't know. It deals with Reapers, it deals with death, it deals with humanity and whether it's worth saving. And at the heart of it, really, there is a love story, ironically. And I am rooting for the couple. I'm trying not to spoil anything. So it's really good also when it comes to action, which I never kind of like understood reading action versus watching it. But I definitely think Grim Reaper is one of the webtoons that the action is entertaining. I don't know. It's unconventional, and I like that the main character, Scarlet, is not. She's not Persephone. Basically, she's more emo, hip, down to earth type person, and I like that. I want more women to kind of be like that and not always be the perky, I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Okay, so next is the Remarried Empress. First of all, this story started out, and it starts you out like, hey, this is kind of like the main story, but we're not going to get to it yet because it's very important. And recently we finally got to where this episode started off, and I'm just like, I'm hyped. I don't know how it's going to end, and I don't know if there's only a few issues I have with it, which is that the main character in the thumbnail, she, like, in a way, like, I'm kind of waiting for her to have a breakdown, because it fits with her character, and it fits with how she grew up and everything like that, and the fact that, like, her world is kind of crumbling, and she never really has that just spiral, and I don't know, but I still think it's definitely binge worthy. I cannot tell yet if it's awesome-tacular, not yet, but it's binge worthy, which is basically, like, awesome-tacular is like an A+, and like binge worthy is like an A-. Like there's only slight differences between the two categories. It's not a big deal. Okie dokies. What's next? Oh, Dior. Yeah. Okay, so Dior, I think recently went from canvas to an original, I think, possibly. I can't find the thumbnail. Where'd it go? Dior. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. The thing is with Dior is there was a time where I would have said that it was binge worthy, but because I feel like the pacing has slowed down a bit during a kind of critical moment, I'm going to put it at you have my attention. I'm I definitely think from reading webtoons of all things, I've learned more about pacing and having a kind of intuition to be able to be like, this is getting slow or this is getting too fast. And I feel like Dior has slowed down a bit. So it still has my attention though, but it's not necessarily something I immediately will read, versus the other ones. Um, Shiloh. Shiloh's an interesting thing because it's basically steampunk meets voodoo magic and dystopian future. It's weird, and it also has a lot of a gunslinging western. It's a weird mixture of things. I would put it at binge worthy because it's really good. However, I do feel that the plot kind of stifled in the beginning of the second season, because some webtoons have seasons, and I feel like it did stifle a bit. But I think it's getting back into its groove a bit. So I'm interested to see where it is. I think it's stuck between binge worthy and you have my attention. There was a time where I would have said binge worthy, but like wholeheartedly. Now it's like 70%. Oh, also Dior is like Black Clover. If you know about that anime at all, it's basically that. Um, what's next? How I unintentionally became a serial killer. So this more or less is pretty straightforward. I put it at you have my attention. I like the premise. I like that they're gonna show how this main character becomes a serial killer and how in reconnecting with his friend and possibly former crush, he ends up in this world of killers and criminals and stuff. But it's not the way you think. It's more just like teen killers and teen criminals. Still dangerous, but it's a bit different. It's also I guess they call it BL or boy love story. I don't necessarily care. I just found the idea of actually seeing how someone becomes a serial killer interesting. So as long as they remember to stay focused on that while also doing the romance, then I don't care. He's harmless, I swear. Some of these I wouldn't know what they are without their titles, and I feel like they kind of know that. That one is also at you have my attention. I think it's quite good, and I actually follow and have talked to the creator over Instagram. I was looking for more interracial type relationships, which you guys should know by now. So I came across this, I think, from a different webtoon, but I think it's good. I think the thing I love the most about it is that we're used to hearing women who have been assaulted and abused in a relationship or marriage, and this kind of twists that, I guess you could say, expectation, and instead it's the husband that was assaulted and abused and stuff, and him kind of learning to find love while I guess also teetering on the possibility of like becoming a bad guy or unstable, I guess. So I think it is worth checking out. Basically anything from You Have My Attention and up, I would definitely recommend that you check out. Next is Unholy Next is Unholy Blood. It's a vampire story set in the modern day, and I love it so much. It is binge worthy. It's great. I always love badass female characters, like when they can fight badass and when they're strong and like physically like badass, I always love that. Even though my female main characters for my 2 webtoons coming out later this year, Asylum Adventure and Eternal Dreams, neither of them are like physically imposing, or in a fight they're not like intimidating. But in the third webtoon slash comic that I will hopefully work on, the main character is a badass, and she's a fighter, and the best of the best and all of that. So I think it's always fun to see that sometimes, to kind of, I don't know why it is to say badass female characters that kick ass. I don't know why, but I don't know. Maybe it's cathartic. I don't know. Escape room. Oh, I'm surprised I found that so quickly. Lately I haven't read it because I've been obsessed with the other stories, but it is binge worthy because it's basically an escape room, and it also kind of reminds me of Death Note, more like the L versus Light situation. That part, it reminds me of that. So I would recommend that if you like that, although it is violent and I guess you could say graphic at times for its premise, but you know, I probably should just give a warning that a majority of these may or may not be graphic. I mean, when you read them, if it's graphic language or violence or sex or whatever, they usually do give you a warning before you start scrolling through the episode. So that's why I feel like I don't need to warn you about violence or whatever, especially if it's something obvious like, you know, vampires or grim reapers or like gunslingers or something, or serial killers. But I just thought I'd put that out there. Let's see. AZ Bluefish said, ooh, sounds good. Grim Reaper does. Yes, it is. And it's drawn more anime looking, which some people might like that art style. AZ Bluefish said, I will take this potato chip and eat it. Oh god, that never gets old. The Red King, I quite enjoy. Lately, with the cliffhanger of sorts, it seems like we're gonna start to finally get answers. So I'll say for now that it's still binge worthy, even though kind of in the 3/4 through, the pacing started to fizzle a bit. But I think the artist also needed a hiatus because I follow her on social media, so it kind of bled through in the story a little bit. But yeah, the main character, Ivan, even however you say his name, I don't know. I call him Ivan. He's so just, I just want to kiss his face. Anyway, Beetle Hands. At first I actually read this from Canvas, and then recently it's been switched to Originals, which is great. But unfortunately I'm possibly gonna unsubscribe. I like the idea of the story kind of being abstract horror with monsters and illusions and alternate reality, and very abstract. But because I felt like it was focusing too much on the abstract and it never got into the plot after a certain couple episodes, I kind of just stopped reading, and I haven't really touched it since, and it's been a while, so I might unsubscribe. That's not to say that you may not like this story. You might, like the story. These are my personal things. I have nothing against the writers or artists or anything. It's just I'm analyzing this as a writer. That's it. All right, what's next? Love Me Not. I started that recently, and so far it has my attention. I can't really say it's binge-worthy or not because it's one of the more newer originals. I mean, so is Unholy Blood, but I like, part of me is biased and part of me can just tell that this will probably be good. Love Me Not is really sweet and wholesome and adorable, and it has to kind of do with fate and literally being tied to fate and what, do soulmates exist and stuff like that. So it's sweet. Pirate's Maid is a Canva. So far, it had my attention, although the creator kind of took a hiatus for a bit, so I can't really say whether or not the story will be good. I like the premise, and it does have my attention, but there's not much I can really say about it. I will say that, like, if you like, this is gonna sound weird, but if you like Aquaman or Once Upon a Time's Hook, then you'll probably like this love story situation. So, it's actually, I think, a rom-com. There are some comedic moments to it. Let me see. Purple Hyacinth. Do we have to even question? No. There's never enough to say for this. I can't. There's just so much to love about it, that I'm not even going to say a lot about it. Just go read it. And if you don't like it, that's fine, but, just go read it. The artist that I recently found for my other webcomic, Asylum Avenger, that takes place in the 1800s, I was telling her how much I really do like Sophism, who's the artist for PH. I really love her art style, and I wanted to create our own version of it for that specific story. And she did. She actually went above and beyond, and she wasn't really trying either, which is just like, oh my gosh, so talented. I can't wait to share my stories with you guys. Alright, next. Poor People Go to Hell. Every time I hear this line, I think of All the Good Girls Go to Hell by Billie Eilish. And I actually messaged the creator because we follow each other about that. And she said now she can't get that out her head. So, I will say that so far you have my attention because it deals with conspiracy cults. We love a good cult. Supernatural. It's fascinating. And religion to an extent, but not in the way you think. So far it has my attention, and I would recommend it. And I actually do like the art. I mean, obviously there's always room for improvement in anybody's art, but I actually like their art, and it reminded me to a certain extent of Purple Hyacinth in certain drawings and shots and things, so I would recommend it. Let's see. Do I want to keep going on my list? No, I'm going to chuck my list. Because I know the names. I don't know why I had to do it as a list. Okay, let's do... Grummery Land. Grummery Land is good. And I wanted it to be binge-worthy. And for some people, it probably will be. But it disappointed me in how it went about writing certain social issues and commentaries near the end of the series. And I was kind of disappointed. The premise itself and the characters, everything is great. But just personally, I feel like the execution at the end was a bit unfulfilling. But I do recommend it for those who like creepy theme parks and horror theme parks that you can't escape from, and there may or may not be also supernatural things to it, and just an overall uncomfortable feeling, then I definitely recommend it, because overall it is good. The person who did Grummery Land also did Malvina's Therapy, and that one I think is awesome-tacular, because the way the story's told and how it's told and who it's about in the end and everything, I think it's great. If you like psychological horror and your worst nightmares of therapy and supernatural stuff and horror stuff, then you'll like Melvina's Therapy, I think. So, let's see. Ooh, In the Bleak Midwinter. Okay, I want to put this at Awesome-tacular already because it slightly reminds me of PH, not only because it also has its own soundtrack on Spotify, which I can't wait to listen to, but also the art and the story and the writing, I feel like, is pretty good. And it kind of, I guess, does have a love triangle, but it's not the way you think, and it's very fascinating. I binged it like a psychopath. It's really good, and I was so sad that I guess I finished season 1 and I didn't even realize it, because a season could be anything from like 50 to 100 to more episodes. So I binged through it, and then it's like there's no more, and I'm like, what do you mean there's no more? What do you mean there's no more? What? Anyway, In the Bleak Midwinter is like the worst case scenario of Detroit Become Human, with artificial intelligence and androids and stuff. So with a love triangle, obviously, and beautiful music and badass characters. And yeah, if you like that, then In the Bleak Midwinter, gotta read it. Let's see. Bastard. I will never stop not saying how amazing this webtoon is. Like, it's awesome-tacular. Like, it's like Erased the anime with Prodigal Son. And it's just, if you like serial killer stuff and thrills and just good writing, then I think you'll like Bastard, because like, it's just, I'm so disgusted at how good it is. I think the same people who did Bastard did Sweet Home, because they are both awesome-tacular. And recently they're supposed to be doing a Netflix adaptation of Sweet Home, I think in Korea or something, and it looks bad. Looks bad. Bastard is any zombie apocalypse type story, but with its own twist to it, obviously. So if you like zombie apocalypse type stuff, then you'll like Sweet Home. They recently wrote and created Shotgun Boy, I think it's called, and that's the prequel to Sweet Home, which you know I'm going to read. It's really good. Anyway, Weight of Our Sky. This is awesome-tacular. I was surprised because I was bored, as I usually am on Webtoons, and I like to add more things to the list, even though I haven't finished other stories I started. And so The Weight of Our Skies was one of them. It's actually a historical fiction. Like, the events that happen are real, but the characters aren't. And I forgot, I want to say it was some type of civil war, either in the Middle East or India or something like that, with maybe Malaysians and stuff. Don't quote me on it. I'm not 100% sure. The thing I found fascinating is that the main character struggles with OCD, and the way that mental illness is portrayed in this comic is amazing. Terrifyingly, beautifully amazing. And it was very compelling. And I was surprised that for a historical fiction, I was very much invested in the main character and a few of the other characters. It was really well written. This was one that I slept on, and I regret it. Let's see. So, Saya, that hasn't been finished, or it ended, but it really should have kept going, so I will put that there. Bite Me is another one that wasn't finished. It could have kept going. You can check them out, but I just wanted to let you know that, they weren't finished, even though I think they should have been. I think it's Placebo Fisheye. I don't even know if they're coming back. I thought they were, but now I have no idea. So I don't know. Play Dead. They're either on a very long hiatus or they left. So these four are basically where I'm not really gonna give too much of my sense because I don't think it's fair. Flower. I read this literally a week or two ago and it was amazing. Oh my gosh. And it's more or less a short story, like a sci-fi short story. And it's like Aliens meets Interstellar meets I don't know, anything to do with alien science and something beyond our understanding. It was really good, like really good, like so good that I like it was like watching a movie because it's not a long webtoon, it's almost like a short story, and yet I was immediately engrossed. And by the end, I'm just sitting there. Like, there's not a lot of movies I watch where I'm, like, sitting there thinking about it. I think Memento, Shutter Island, and maybe one other movie had me just sit and think about it. That's what this webtoon did. I just sat there afterwards, like, wow. So I recommend that. Code Adam. Oh, my God. Oh my god. Honestly, I might just put an awesome-tacular. Because, like, oh my god. I think season 3 just came back. And I'm so excited to read it. Like, it's like superheroes. But they are, they were made, I think, and experimented on by the government. And there's conspiracies, there's different organizations and rivals and things, all to kind of try to stop this war, but like they're experimenting on children to be superheroes. So, oof. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I binged it so quickly that just like in the bleak midwinter, I was so offended that there wasn't more. Oh man. Alright, let's do some more romances. Midnight Poppyland is binge worthy. If you want the ultimate bad boy who also is actually this tormented teddy bear, then you should read Midnight Poppyland. Because Tora is just... I got nothing. Honestly, I think I tweeted once that Tora's character for some reason reminds me of Corpse. Don't know why. I don't know why. It's like so sweet and a little steamy. Though the other ones on this list that are romances are probably more steamy, but there is a bit of steaminess. You know, if you're looking for steaminess, you know, I get it. This might be one for you. The steamiest I've read, though, is My Dear Cold-Hearted King. When it comes to levels of steaminess in a romance, I think that one is literally through the roof. It's well written and it's good, but like it's steamy. I felt that there are a lot of conventional things that aren't displayed in the story. Like, it's kind of unconventional. It has a love triangle and it has mystery and it has action, a lot of action that's really cool, and romance at the forefront, but it didn't exactly go the exact way I thought it would. within its genre of romance, and I respect that. I respect that. There were a few times where I was genuinely like confused as to what the main character would do or who she'd be with or whatever, and I think that's the best way to write certain romance stories where you don't know who they're gonna be with in the end. And yeah, highly recommend if you love, you know, a bit of royalty drama. Although the remarried empress is more royalty drama, but you know. Speaking of royalty drama, Sub-Zero, it's awesome-tacular. I think that should have been obvious. Out of everything on this list, if you like romance, or you're not fully against it, like myself, where you're like, if it's written well, I'll do it. Sub-Zero is where you start. I've told every friend that says that they don't read Webtoon, and then I'm like, you have to, and if you want to start out, I suggest either Sub-Zero or Purple Hyacinth. The Sub-Zero one, they end up addicted. It's an addiction. It has dragons, it has royalty, it has arranged marriages, it has steaminess, it has romance, it has action, it has conspiracy. I don't know what else you want from this show. I keep calling it a show, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Ghost Wife. This was like so good. I know I said that as a question, but like Ghost Wife, like I didn't cry, but I was just like, I felt something here that I didn't know existed. It is funny, it is creepy because there's supernatural creatures and demons and stuff, but it's actually really sweet and wholesome, and it drove me insane how much I just wanted them to be together, and the love triangle, because you know there's always got to be a love triangle. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a love triangle in a romance, but you know. But yeah, I like highly recommend it. There's supernatural, a lot of supernatural, romance, drama, thrills, and comedy. And it is awesome-tacular. So, let's see. Let's do Raw. I was, as I said before, I was looking through for interracial romances, and I also came across this one. And this creator as well, I've talked to on social media and stuff. And to be honest with you, I would say that you have my attention so far. It's basically like Catholic school drama with Beauty and the Beast, with... That's it, actually, now that I think about it. Not saying that is a bad thing. I think the couple that we're supposed to ship is adorable. I'm very curious to see where the plot goes, because I feel like they're on a teeter right now between me feeling like, oh, okay, this is, you know, now I'm really into this, versus and you're slipping. Yeah. Catholic school meets Beauty and the Beast. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Let's see. Sunflowers for Dragons. I recently started this as well, and I will also say that it has my attention. It's kind of like if our world also had mystical creatures and people and stuff. It's kind of like that. It also, for some reason, reminds me of, I think the movie's called Enchanted. I don't know why. Yeah, you have the one main character who is the daughter of one of the demons or satans in one of the levels of hell or something, and she runs away. And then you have a hunter. So basically people who should not be together from two different worlds that end up being together, or hopefully end up being together. I'm all for that all day, okay? That's the greatest metaphor of interracial relationships. Two different people from two different worlds come together. I love it. Let's see. Silent Screams. As of lately, I am kind of in the like waiting for my regulars. And I feel horrible because it started out great. Like I was in. But this second season, like, too much time I think is being spent at this one place, no spoilers, and not getting on to, not cracking on, as Sherlock says it. We're not cracking on. So, yeah. I still do say read it and tell me what you think if you think I'm just being too analytical, which I don't think is actually possible for me. I feel like I give people the benefit of the doubt too often, but anyway. Next is Dazer and Eleanor. I follow this creator as well, and unfortunately I feel like because the plot is not, like, the pace is too slow for the premise, and because I feel like even when the creator might be trying to spend time with the characters or something, it just doesn't work out, because I think the writer still doesn't know how to balance time to flesh out characters and time to get to the plot evenly. So I feel like it's kind of just, it's not even slowing down, it's just this begrudging train that never picks up speed for me. I won't unsubscribe for now because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's definitely something that it'll be the last on the list of priorities to read. Unfortunately, all of these up here that you see, these top two, if these aren't somehow updated or whatever, I've already read them all, then I'll come down to some of these and stuff, so. But, yeah. Johangelis Hole is also awaiting for my regulars. I had a higher love for it when I made my other Webtoon video, but watching how the story's going, and it's still kind of taking too long to start to give me something to chew on. Like, it's giving me breadcrumbs, but within those breadcrumbs of breadcrumbs. Like, it's too much of not enough breadcrumbs, if that makes sense. I don't even know if I'm making sense. Yeah, so, but I still love the art. That's the thing though about these webtoons, is I'm not judging them based off of the art. That otherwise this list would be a bit different. I'm judging it based off of the story, because I'm a writer, not an artist. That's why I have two artists for my two different webtoons, because I can't draw. Or at least I haven't drawn in years, and it wouldn't be pretty. I'm just looking at this from a writer's perspective, and the story, the characters, the pacing, everything like that. So, Wind Rose, I enjoyed a lot, but recently I feel like the writer, like, this is one of them where it was going, and then it's starting to go downhill, or like it was picking up speed and now it's slowing down, and I'm like, wait a second. It's kind of, it's like Lore Olympus, but instead of Greek gods, you have the different seasons, I guess, like, no, sorry, the different directions, like north, south, west, east, the equator. They're all different gods of sorts. And so the story kind of takes place, I guess during the Dark Ages or something like that. And they're seen as gods and stuff. North, south, east, west, all of that. And they have different abilities and all of that. And the equator's adopted daughter, and I think North's and South's son, or Winter's son or whatever, they fall in love. The romance is very sweet and very wholesome, just like where is it on the list? Just like Ghostwife, but as well as Lore Olympus, but I don't know. I just feel like the pacing is slowing down too much right now. It might pick back up. I don't know. That's why I'm not unsubscribing from some of these, because maybe the writer's still feeling their story out, or maybe, you know, the increase in speed and pacing and stuff is right around the corner and I'm just being impatient. So, you know, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Not Even Bones, I really enjoyed, but I can't put my finger on it. But there's something that concerns me of the direction it's going in, and I can't explain it. I literally it's just this gut feeling. But it is good if you like kind of like black market conspiracy stuff, where we live in a world with monsters and things, and you have bounty hunters and assassins and black market and medical examiners who don't actually examine the body, they just dissect the body and put it in pieces for the black market to sell certain body parts because they give you certain feelings or blessings or magic properties, enhancements, things like that. So it's a very gritty perspective of if monsters and fantasy creatures lived among us, it would not necessarily end well. So there's that. Friend Club. I don't know if Jay's on the stream again, but I'm going to rate his thing now. Okay. I will say that Friend Club by my friend Jay. My buddy pal Jay. I will say that usually it's waiting for my regulars, and I feel horrible to say that, but I still think that it is good, and that it's very close to You Have My Attention. It's a comedy, and I don't read a lot of comedies on Webtoon, which might make this biased, but when I do read the episodes, I do enjoy reading them, and I think that they are funny. And it's basically time travel meets Friends meets a lot of other references. I feel like there's also a little bit of kind of self-awareness comedy. Kind of like Parks and Rec or The Office, you know? I definitely recommend it, and I definitely recommend people read it. I am just being honest with my rankings. Please don't be offended, Jay. Please don't be offended. I'm gonna feel so bad. Oh, Jay's back. I hope he doesn't hate me. Empyria, I don't know. This is gonna surprise some people, but I'm really thinking of unsubscribing because I feel like, and it wasn't just me, which means I was probably right. The pacing going into, I think it's the second season or something, like it went to a halt because it was focusing so much on the backstory of characters. I guess to give us context for then the present day, that it was, I don't think it was a good idea. I really don't. And I wasn't the only one. There's a lot of people in the comment section. Even the creator had to explain to people that, like, the story's developing. And it's like, yeah, well, there's a difference between the story developing and you spending too much time fleshing out backstories of characters and whether or not they love each other, instead of just hinting at it the way you were before. Like, sometimes you don't have to show it. Readers are smart. They'll be like, someone's there, you know? And unless it's very important for you to break down not just a whole episode, like episodes, like I mean, I don't know, 5-10 episodes to show this backstory, it's like you're gonna lose people. It's better you just show bits and pieces, or you do one episode of backstory and then go right back to the present and then go back to the past. But if we stay in the past for too long, we're gonna stop caring about the present plot. And that's the other thing. I think only now is the inciting incident and or the characters going into the second act of the story finally coming to head. And it's like, oh my god, so many other stories I've read, like, they were getting into this second act not even before season 2. It could be in season 1 they're getting to the second act. So like, this is not well paced, well structured, in my personal opinion. You know, I feel bad because the art is beautiful, but like the art can't save a story, just like a story can't necessarily save bad art either. Like you know, I don't know. I don't know. Jay said he's extremely offended. I'm ending this stream right now. I'm joking. Demence. I can't even remember if I'm still reading that actually, because I may or may not unsubscribe. There's a lot of issues that I'm starting to not tolerate with this comic. The font is distracting, which, believe it or not, is a thing. The font's distracting. The story is taking too long. We're going on different tangents of characters instead of first establishing what the premise will probably be and or the plot, whether that's the romance plot, the thriller plot, the mystery plot, action plot, whatever. You got to establish that at some point. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of what was it with Megan Fox? Jennifer's Body. It reminds me of Jennifer's Body with Riverdale, and something else. And that's not a bad thing. That's why I was interested at first. But it's losing me, and I might unsubscribe. So, Distorted Desires. It had my attention, but now I kind of don't necessarily read it automatically when it comes out or whatever. I feel like it's because the pacing is taking a bit too long to get the story started. There's a difference between starting a story. I'll probably make a video on this, or maybe not. I should probably stop saying I'll make a video and then I don't. There's a difference between the stories, like the story starts and the plot starts. Two different things. Actually, there's probably a video I watched recently about Lord of the Rings and how that shows the best example between when a story ends and when the plot ends. The plot ends when the ring is destroyed, but the story ends when Frodo goes into the West with Gandalf and stuff, into the sea and whatnot, and Sam goes home. That's when the story ends. There's a difference between the two. And I think that's something that writers need to keep in mind when writing anything, including a webcomic. I also think that cliffhangers are a big deal on Webtoon. Unlike a lot of other stories, like a book or something, or even an actual graphic novel, Webtoon, each episode, it really helps if you have some cliffhanger of some sort, whether information will be revealed, a character bumped into someone, a character gets caught, whatever. There usually does need to be a cliffhanger for each episode, and unfortunately Distorted Desires doesn't always have that. The thing that was so interesting to me was that this was kind of a serial killer catfishing type abusive love story that I wanted to see, because I think that, you know, those types of stories should be told and seen as a forewarning to not be with these people. but I think they're taking too long to start to get that going. And I know Canvas artists, they don't have as much staff or even just time and energy to make, longer episodes or whatever. But that's not even my problem. My problem is the overall premise not really being touched on yet. And I feel like by this point it should kind of, happen. I've noticed most of the time, which I try to do myself with my stories, is that a lot of these webtoons, especially originals, if they have a premise, they get that premise going by the first episode, if not by the third one. Because they know, they know what they want to do with their story, and they also know, people, either they're going to be interested or they're not, and then they'll move on to the next webtoon. And I think that's something that some of these Canvas writers should keep in mind to kind of get to the point within the first 3 episodes. Basically like an anime. If you don't hook me by the first 3 episodes, then I'm not gonna, or it won't be worth finishing. So yeah. Anyway, my last one is, I actually forgot the name of this one. Something about the devil. Hold on. The devil is a handsome man. Yeah, okay. I actually really enjoyed this, and it has my attention. I'm curious to see how it goes. It's on hiatus, and I really do hope it comes back. The art is beautiful. It reminds me of more traditional graphic novel type comic style art. I think most of it's in black and white. They only use colors for certain things, which I also think is creative and smart. Basically, I don't think humans live in this world at all. I think it's just creatures and demons and fairies and mythical creatures. They live in a modern world like ours, but it's not ours, because I don't think there's any humans in this world, or maybe there are and I just don't remember. I haven't read it in a while. But basically there's mystery behind the main character and her relationship with the devil. Yeah, I know. Also, we never see the devil's face, or at least from her perspective, we don't know what he looks like. Literally, his face is just it's like an open hole. I don't know how to not say that without sounding weird and or sexualized, but literally this part of his face, right around here, is cut out, and there's just a black hole. And yeah, so this is my list of webtoons. Hopefully I didn't talk too much during each one. If I end up deciding to, whatever. I don't know if I've done anything to convince you whether to read or not read or whatever webtoon, but I suggest you guys, if you're not on Webtoon already, and it's like YouTube, where you make an account but you don't have to make YouTube videos, you just subscribe to other people. It's the same thing with Webtoon. I suggest it highly that you check it out. There's something almost for everyone. It may take a second for you to find it, but there's almost something for everyone. And I'm going to hopefully have my Webtoon stories up there by later this year. We have the romance and we have the psychological horror. So just a thought that, you get started on Webtoon, you get used to the format, you get used to whatever, and then you guys can tell me that you don't like my Webtoon. Yeah, and I won't be too hurt by it. It's fine. I'm fine. AZ Bluefish said, I found this extremely helpful. Good. Jay said, "Noise. I think I'll be giving Grim Reaper a read first." Yes, I think you'll like it. I actually feel like the one character, Chase, reminds me of you, Jay, slightly, just slightly. Yeah, this was basically all I was gonna do. If you guys have a favorite webtoon that you come across at any point that I somehow have not read, or I just wasn't interested in reading it, you can always message me on social media or in the comments of this stream, or really any of my videos, actually, because I usually look at the comments. So we're almost at 300. Crazy. Will it last? Will it stay at 300? I don't know, but we are almost at 300. It's crazy. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, basically an hour before what time it is right now for wherever you are in the world, Kevin and I will be premiering at my premiere to our reaction to Moxie. The video is almost 50 minutes long, so it'll be a long one. So bring your popcorn, bring your snacks, bring your sarcasm, because it's gonna be a really good one. I think you guys are gonna laugh a lot, as I have when I was editing it. So only because of Kevin. I'm not funny. Kevin's funny. Of course, then he'll say the opposite, but don't listen to him. So I look forward to seeing you guys there tomorrow. It'll be fun. I'll probably be watching it with my family while also being in the live chat. Yeah. This is the most historical collab of all time. Of all time. Not PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye. No, Sagan and Kevin and Liz Not Lizzie. Okay? As always, you guys can follow me on social media on Twitter or Instagram at Liz Levi. My poetry book is coming out in November. I will be posting poetry stuff and writing stuff and probably the Shadow and Bone and Invincible stuff within the next month or so, so be on the lookout for that. I have a Patreon again. Yeah. If you want to read my comic scripts, you can on my Patreon. You can read them. You can beat me up about it. I've already posted my character design, or well, one of the character designs for my romance webtoon. I posted Dawn on my Instagram. Go check it out. She's beautiful. Huge thanks to my friend Mike, who is the artist for this. I will be posting, hopefully, Valerie, the main character for my other webtoon, my psychological horror webtoon, soon. She's just missing a lot more bruises and tattoos. So yeah, I don't know when I'll post Bobby for the romance one, because Mike is all over the place. Hopefully now he'll be able to work on it now that he's worked out some personal stuff. So hopefully my bad boy will finally be revealed on social media. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't know if I'll be on Twitch, because if this keeps happening like it did today, then I'll just live stream on YouTube anyway, because it's less a pain in the butt. I don't know what happened with Twitch. I really don't, and it's not like I have a lot of followers on there anyway, so it's not a big deal. But either way, hopefully I'll try to live stream some more now that I am done working on my poetry book for the most part. There's still other stuff, but for the most part, my part in the project is done. Now I just have to manage other people to do their part. I'll be working on my webcomics, but I'm already a little bit ahead. It's my artists that have to catch up, so I have time for now to just live stream and try to work on videos. I'm editing for Kevin again, so yeah, Hopefully, you guys will see me a few times during this summer. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And I hope you have a wonderful summer. And thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking around. You guys are crazy. Bye, weirdos. Night, night.
모든 게 궁금해질 때 tell me oh yeah 뭐가 널 행복하게 하는지 text me oh yeah Your every picture 내 머리만 듣고 싶어 Come be my teacher 네 모든 걸 다 가르쳐줘 내 삶은 on top 너야 관계에서 꽉지 않게 만들어버린 너라는 백 하나부터 열까지 모든 게 특별하지 너의 관심사 걸음걸이 말투와 사소한 작은 습관들 같이 난 말했지 너무 작다 내가 영웅이 된 거라고 난 말했지 운명 따윈 전부터 내게 아니었다고